Dear students, in this video I am going to explain about the concept of overall heat transfer coefficient, which I have studied in the first chapter. And another term related to heat exchanger is fouling, which is actually a deterrent to the performance of heat exchanger. Overall heat transfer coefficient in a heat exchanger is a measure of rate of heat transfer between two fluids which are separated by a solid surface. And this does not only depend on the heat transfer coefficients Hi and H0, but also on the surface areas Ai and A 0. But if the solid surface is a plane wall, then Ai and A 0 can be considered equal. In such cases, there is this U will be dependent on only Hi and H0, but most of the heat exchangers uses tubes and or pipes. In such cases, it is good to consider a hollow cylinder, that is a pipe or a tube, in which Ri and R naught are the inside and outside radius. Ri is the inside radius and R naught is the outside radius. And in this case, we have considered Ti is the inside temperature, the temperature of the hot fluid inside the pipe, and T naught is the temperature of the cold fluid outside. And similarly, Hi is the heat transfer coefficient of the hot fluid with the inside surface, and H naught is the heat transfer coefficient of the cold fluid with the outside surface. L is the length of the pipe or the tube. K is the thermal conductivity of the material of the pipe or tube used. T1 and T naught are the temperatures of the inside surface and outside surface respectively. Q is the rate of heat transfer. Under steady state, this rate of heat transfer Q is given by this equation, where Q equal to the first term gives you the rate of heat transfer due to convection from the hot fluid to the inside surface, whereas the second term gives the conduction heat transfer rate through the material, and the last term Q is equal to 2 pi R naught L into H naught into T2 minus T naught gives you the convective heat transfer from the surface to the that is outside surface to the cold fluid. And this equation can be written in terms of temperature difference like this: Ti is equal to Ti minus T1 is equal to Q by 2 pi Ri into L into Hi. And similarly, T1 minus T2 is equal to Q by 2 pi KL divided by ln of R naught by Ri. T2 minus T naught is equal to Q by 2 pi R naught L into H naught. And adding these temperature terms, we get Ti minus T naught is equal to Q multiplied by this parameter within this brackets, that is 1 by 2 pi Ri L into Hi plus 1 by 2 pi KL divided by ln of R naught by Ri plus 1 by 2 pi R naught L into H naught. And rearranging this term in terms of Q now is equal to this equation. So we have just rearranged this expression. And so once you get this Q should be the rate of heat transfer through the hollow cylinder, which can be expressed in terms of areas and heat transfer coefficients. And since areas are different, definitely U should be different. So we have expressed two different U's, that is overall heat transfer coefficient based on outside heat transfer surface area and inside heat transfer surface area. So equating these two Q terms, we get overall heat transfer coefficient based on outside surface area of the cylinder 1 by U naught is equal to R naught by Ri into 1 by Hi plus R naught by K into ln of R naught by Ri plus 1 by H naught. Similarly, for overall heat transfer coefficient based on inside surface area, we have this expression. To summarize the previous discussion, this equation now is actually equated with expression for rate of heat transfer, and using A naught is equal to 2 pi R naught L and substituting that, we have actually obtained this overall. I want you to go through these steps and arrive at the final expression. Similarly, equating these two Q's and considering Ai is equal to 2 pi Ri L, and overall heat transfer coefficient based on inside surface area of the cylinder is obtained this way. This is a small assignment to you to work it out and obtain the final expressions for u naught and I naught, I1, no, u naught and ui. Fouling is an undesirable condition in heat exchanger which reduces the performance of heat exchangers. Usually after long periods of operations, the heat transfer surfaces of the heat exchanger will get coated with some of the deposits from the materials or from the liquids itself, or sometimes the surfaces may get corroded because of the frequent interaction with the fluids. In both cases, definitely there will be some resistance of to the heat flow because of this coating formed, which results in the reduced performance. And finally, the overall effect is to present a term called fouling factor or a fouling resistance, RF, which must be included in order along with the additional thermal resistance, so that total resistance is different from the actual resistance which is considered in the overall heat transfer coefficient. So an additional parameter is to be accounted for in case of a overall heat transfer coefficient. We'll see that in the next few slides. And before that, we'll try to understand the different types of fouling that can happen in a heat exchanger. They are scaling, corrosion fouling, chemical reaction fouling, freezing fouling, and biological fouling. Scaling is the most common form of fouling, and it is associated with inverse solubility salts. For most of the salts, this solubility increases with its increase in temperature. That means the higher the temperature, the more dissolved a salt is in that solution. But for some salts like calcium carbonate or calcium phosphate or calcium sulfate, their solubility decreases with increase in temperature. When the temperature of the solution is increased, the salts gets separated from the solution and they get deposited on the surface of the heat exchanger. Such salts are called as inverse solubility salts, and in such cases this deposit part becomes a part of fouling. And the second kind is corrosion fouling, which is due to the oxidation of heat exchanger surfaces with the fluids next to the surfaces. Many metals like copper or aluminum being specific examples of these surfaces, and they definitely oxidize, and these oxidized coatings will form this corrosion fouling. But most of the times, once these corroded deposits are formed, this will actually prevent further corrosion of the surfaces. Chemical reaction fouling, this involves chemical reactions in the process stream, that is whatever the process is happening inside the pipelines, and that will result in the deposition of the material on the heat exchanger surfaces. And when this commonly you can observe this in food products which are involved in this term called scorching, but a wide variety of organic materials are also subjected to similar problems. Freezing fouling is said to occur when a portion of hot stream is cooled to its close to its freezing point for one of its components. This is a very common problem in refineries where paraffin, when they solidified, the wax content can be taken out, and that will obstruct the flow and heat transfer. And lastly, biological fouling. It is common in untreated water when there is impurities present in it, and in such cases like algae or microbes can deposit over the surfaces, forming the biological fouling. And we know that the overall effect of fouling is this reducing the performance, and then we have to account for this fouling factor in overall heat transfer coefficient. In such cases, we can find out the fouling factors experimentally by determining the values of overall heat transfer coefficient both for clean and dirty conditions in the heat exchanger. That means
you have to find out when the surface is completely clean. You have to find out overall heat transfer coefficient when the overall the surfaces are clean, and also when it is dirty. So when doing so, you can find out the overall the fouling factor by this equation. That is, fouling factor RF is equal to 1 by U, that is overall heat transfer coefficient for dirty surfaces, minus 1 by U of clean surface. Definitely U for clean surface will be greater than the U for dirty surface. So RF will always be a positive quantity because of that reason. So including this RF for in the overall heat transfer coefficient, we have this overall heat transfer coefficient based on outside surface area, this one, where RFI and RF naught are the fouling factors on the inside and outside surface of the hollow cylinder respectively. So RFI will have the same units as that of 1 by HI, and similarly RFO will have the same units of 1 by H naught. So the dimensional homogeneity is maintained. And similarly overall heat transfer coefficient based on inside surface area is this one, and we can have fouling factors for some common fluids like seawater less than 125 degree Fahrenheit, it is 0.000049, and similarly for above 125 degree Fahrenheit it is higher, that is 0.002 meter square degree Celsius. You can observe that the higher the temperature, the solids gets separated out from the solution, and because of that fouling factor value is higher. And similarly treated water, actually when the boiler feed water is treated, that is proper feed water treatment is taken place, then their resistance value is reduced to 0.0002, and likewise for different cases it is listed out here. So the importance of this fouling factor is that you must take into account, if in case in a given problem the values for fouling factors are given, you have to take it in to account in the calculation of overall heat transfer coefficient, so that the additional resistance due to fouling is also taken care of.